Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio, and it's still getting better. And today, we're looking at a new Garchomp card. I like Garchomp. I have made no secret of my love for Garchomp. When I did my top 20 Pokemon to celebrate hitting 20,000 subscribers, it was Garchomp. When I started playing Pokémon Tournament, it was Garchomp, and I have made a video about every Garchomp card ever, although that video is about to be out of date because we're getting a new Garchomp, and it's pretty gosh darn good. Now, the first thing to note, it is a dragon Pokemon. Being a dragon Pokemon is not ideal, ladies and gentlemen, because you're not hitting much for weakness. By which I mean you're not hitting anything for weakness. Outside of the very first Dragon Pokemon, which is still legal in the expanded format, Dragon's not hitting anything for weakness right now. That's a little bit sad. Not only that, but you are being hit for weakness by fairy Pokemon. This is very, very bad because Gardevoir is amazing. Now, by the time Garchomp comes out, maybe that will be a bit less of an issue. We might talk about that at the end if we get a minute. Gardevoir's looking less good by the time Ultra Prism comes out, but for the time being, weakness to Gardevoir, not good. What is good is free retreat. Now we expect Garchomp to have free retreat. Garchomp is a fast Pokemon in the video game, and the last Garchomp we got in Breakpoint did have free retreat, so we're not particularly surprised by the fact that it has free retreat, but we are happy at the fact that it does have free retreat. And 150 HP, it's a little bit low when you compare it to stuff like Dragonite from Sun and Moon, but it is about right for a Stage 2 non-GX Pokemon. This is all pretty good, but if it was a fighting type Pokemon, it would be hitting weakness on Silvally, on Zoroark, really big, important Pokemon. So I really, really wish this was a fighting type Garchomp right now. This is very sad indeed. And of course, we don't have double dragon energy at the moment. That's a bit sad. The one thing we do have for dragon Pokemon is Devoured Field, which could actually be pretty important. Devoured Field allow your Dragon and Darkness Pokemon to hit for an extra 10 damage, and this could actually be very crucial. Both your main attacks here could be 10 damage away from a KO. So the first attack here for a double colourless energy does 50 damage to any of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again, this is really upsetting because 60 is so much better. Look at the kind of basics we've got in the format at the moment. Alolan Vulpix, Zorua, Beldum, and so on and so forth, all of which have 60 HP, and you do 50. The good news is, if you're hitting the active, you can use Devoured Field, which means you're now hitting for 60, which means you will get a KO. I don't think Devoured Field has been an amazing must-play supporter in many decks so far, although in straight Zoroark decks, Devoured Field is pretty good. But I think at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, in this Garchomp build, Devoured Field is huge. If you can go first, you can attack turn 1, but your opponent then has a turn where they can't evolve, which means if you can get a rare candy Garchomp, add a double colourless energy, because this attack of course is for a double colourless energy, that's a single attachment, then all of a sudden you can be getting, with Devoured Field, a turn 1 KO on these 60 HP Pokemon like Zorua, like Rowlet, like Beldum, and this is really, really important. It's not the main attack, and it's not the main reason you would play this Pokemon. But it's not half bad for a handy bonus. No, ladies and gentlemen, the main attack here for a fighting double colourless, 100 damage. But if you've played the Cynthia supporter this turn, add 100 damage. 100 for a fighting double colourless is alright. You can use double colourless here, it's 2 energy attachments. But 200 for a fighting double colourless, that is an immensely good attack. Something like Ho-Oh is a brilliant attacker because it does 180 for 4 energy and it can't use double colourless. So Garchomp being able to do 200 for 3 energy, including a double colourless, this is an absolutely fantastic attacking option. Now, I suppose before we get deeper into the analysis, we should remind ourselves what Cynthia actually does and whether we want to use it. Cynthia is Professor Oak's new theory. Shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 6 cards. Now, I've done a video about Cynthia. I'll pop a link in the description. When I did my video about Cynthia, I said quite simply, it's a great card. And I do believe it is a great card. I said I thought it was going to see a really large amount of play. Not everybody agreed with me, but I feel pretty confident in my prediction that it will see a lot of play. It's not a bad supporter. If you had to play How every turn, which just drew you 3 cards, that would not be good. But being able to draw 6 new cards, a new hand of 6 cards every turn, I think this is going to see a lot of play. I do not think this is a bad thing. And don't forget, of course, we have got Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele will allow you to search out Cynthia. So if you're not drawing into it naturally, if you're not able to find it, I've got good news for you. Tapu Lele will help you find it. I love this attack. I think this is an absolutely phenomenal attack. Even if you haven't played Cynthia, you do 100. That is still a lot of damage. Problem is you're not hitting anything for weakness. And without hitting for weakness, you've got to be getting one-hit KOs just normally. And you can here. Because let's say you're doing 200 damage. Well, widely played Pokemon like Espeon, you're getting a one-hit KO. Glaceon, which might well be big when Ultra Prism comes out, 200 HP, you're getting a one-hit KO. Something like Drampa or Turtonator, you're getting a one-hit KO. This gets one-hit KOs on big Pokemon. But of course, it doesn't end there. Let's say you add yourself a choice band. Now all of a sudden, you're not doing 200 damage, you're doing 230 damage. And now there are big Pokemon like Golisopod GX, like Zoroark GX. 210 HP, you're getting a one-hit KO. But if Gardevoir does remain a good Pokemon and a widely played Pokemon when Ultra Prism comes out, you're actually doing 230 with a choice band. That is absolutely huge. Because now you're actually getting a one-hit KO on Gardevoir, a 2-prize Pokemon, and they're getting a one-hit KO on you. Now it only takes 3 energy total for Gardevoir to get a KO with weakness, so if you've got as much as a double colourless on you, they will get a one-hit KO for a single energy. But you're winning the prize trade here. And let's go back to Devoured Field. Devoured Field, I said, was crucial at hitting the numbers, and I meant it. Because let's go back to those 210 HP Pokemon, specifically Golisopod and Zoroark, both of whom are seeing a huge amount of play. Well, they've got 210 HP. So you do 200, assuming you've played a Cynthia. Devoured Field comes into play, you're now doing 210, and all of a sudden, now you're getting a one-hit KO on them, but you're not having to use a choice band. This is wonderful. Now, of course, you've got to play a Cynthia every turn, and what I do love, if we look at the artwork of this card, we've actually got Cynthia in the artwork. Cynthia and Garchomp have always been a pair in the Pokemon ever since Generation 4 came around, and I really like the fact that if you play Cynthia as your supporter, Garchomp becomes a lot more powerful. You can only play 4 Cynthia in your deck. This is kind of annoying. You could play something like Oranguru, like we saw yesterday, to recover them, but that's a little bit awkward, because then you've got to find them again. That's a bit of a pain. Not only that, you could play Lusamine, and Lusamine's kind of fun, but of course Lusamine is your supporter for the turn, so you can use Lusamine to grab yourself a couple of Cynthia from your discard pile, but you've then got to wait a turn to actually play your Cynthia, which is a little bit of a pain. But if you're attacking for 230 potentially, maybe even more with Devoured Field, 4 times per game, what else do you want, ladies and gentlemen? Against EX and GX heavy decks, this is going to be great. Now, if you're against something like, I don't know, let's say Greninja, hitting 130 turn after turn could be kind of annoying, because you do need a Cynthia every turn to hit for 130 or more. Okay, that's a bit of a pain, but even so, I am a big fan of this. We should also mention that there is the Breakpoint Garchomp. We did mention it very briefly earlier, and of course you can always still use that in this deck. It is a fighting Pokemon. I think its time has probably passed. I like Turbo Assault 1 fighting energy, 60 damage, and it accelerates an energy card from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. You could be using this to get double colourless onto your benched Garchomp in case your opponent's using something like an Enhanced Hammer or a Kartana to get rid of them. Bite Off only does extra damage against EXs, not GXs, and I think this is really the reason that Breakpoint Garchomp has fallen out of favour. I mean, if I'm not playing that deck anymore, I don't think anybody's going to be, and that's a little bit sad. But maybe as a one-off for Turbo Assault to accelerate energy, this could be an awful lot of fun. But let's make no mistake about it. Being able to hit 200 damage on a non-GX Pokemon for 2 energy attachments, being able to get 1-hit KOs on EXs and GXs for 2 prizes on a 1-prize Pokemon for 2 energy attachments is really, really good. Yeah, I know you've got to play a Cynthia, but you know what? Cynthia's a great supporter. We've got Tapu Lele, and it's the next video we're doing in a few hours, but we've also got Lucario. There's a little tease for our next video. I love Garchomp. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. Maybe it's not going to be able to stand up to the big hitters like Glaceon, like Solgaleo, and actually one of the things I don't like about Garchomp, the new Solgaleo is looking like it's going to be the really big Pokemon coming out by the time Ultra Prism comes out. 250 HP. Well, this attack with a Choice Band Devoured Field, it hits 240. That is incredibly upsetting. In Expanded, we've got the Altaria from Dragons Exalted, but we don't have that in Standard, and that could be incredibly annoying. Either way, I think this is a great card with a lot of potential. But as always, I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And if you're wondering where the Lucario video is, don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it is not far away. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, etc., you can do so at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.